Okay, question number one. Julia wants to know which professional baseball player is most popular among 300 students at her school. Which is the best and most reasonable way for her to get this information? So basically, there are 300 kids at the school. She wants to get an idea of who's the most popular. So you might be thinking, here in Atlanta, well, is it Chipper Jones, is it Brian McCann, and so on. Well, she could A, collect data from a census of every student at her school. All right, that might be a good option, so let's go ahead and circle that one. She could collect data from a sample of every student in her math class. Now, asking every student in her math class isn't very random. It's very specific, asking every person in her math class. So I would eliminate this choice. C, collect data from a sample of every 20th student who arrives at school one day. This might be a good choice because every 20th student is a very random sample. We're not asking all girls. We're not asking all boys. We're not asking all 7th graders. We are asking every 20th person who arrives at the school. And finally, D, collect data from a sample of every student on a team who plays sports. Again, that's a little bit too specific. If we're going to do a sample, we want one random. Well, let's look at the question again. Which is the best and most reasonable way for her to get this information? If you remember in class, sometimes we talk about getting a sample or getting a questionnaire about all Creekland Middle School students. Well, in order to do that, if we wanted to ask everybody, we would have to ask 1,300 kids, 1,300 or 1,400 kids. Well, that's way too many to ask. We might thereby do a sample and bring that number down a bit. Instead of having to ask everybody, we ask a reasonable sample size. And I think C is the best choice. Because you could collect from all 300, but that would take a lot of time. Marcos surveyed 50 teenagers about the overall quality of an MP3 player. He tallied his results below, but has not yet recorded the frequencies. Which statement is not true of his results? Which statement is not true? Remember, we're looking for what is not true. Of these choices, which is not true. So we got to look at them all. Exactly 8 teenagers rated the MP3 player as fair. Well, let's take a look. Fair. We have 5, 6, 7, 8. Exactly 8 teenagers rated their MP3 as fair. This is true, therefore this is not a choice, because remember, we're looking at not here. And you've got to be super duper careful not to make this mistake, because what you're going to do is see this one and see that it's true, and you're going to think that's the right answer, and you're going to mark that not only on my test but on the CRCT. And we've got to get all of our silly mistakes out of the way ahead of time. So we've got to make sure we know what the question's asking us. B, exactly 9 teenagers rated the MP3 player as poor. Okay, so we have poor, we have 10, or 5, 10, 14. Okay, this looks like this might not be true. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of them, though, just to make sure. 4 more teenagers rated the MP3 player as good, and we have 10 here, than poor. Well, it looks like we've got 4 more teenagers rated their MP3 player as good than poor. Now, the difference between these is 4. But we have 4 more poor, not good. Now, they'll put these kind of questions like this on the CRCT to try to trick you up. And if you're not careful, you're going to see that. And if that's choice, I'm sorry. They're rated theirs good than poor. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I did very poor, or very good. This right here is 18. And the difference is 4, and 4 more rated theirs very good. So this is true, and therefore we would eliminate that one. Now, as you can tell, as I've said to you in many times in class, if you're not very, very careful, you'll mess these up like I just did. I'm 34 or 35 years old, and I still, if I'm reading these too fast, I'm going to mess up, and that is a perfect example. I do this stuff all the time. That's why I will go back and read them several times. Let's go back again and take a look at D. A total of 28 teenagers rated the MP3 player as good or very good. Between good and very good, we have 28. That is true, so we eliminate that. The answer is choice B. And I believe this is number 3 in your packet. Doug asked a sample of 14 students how many hours they watch television each week. His results are shown below. So how many hours of television they watch on a given week. If these data were organized in a grouped frequency table with the following categories, which category would have the highest frequency? Now, if you remember in class, I forgot on your worksheet to actually put the categories in, but I gave them to you on the board, and they were 0 through 5, 6 through 10, and this is actually 3 and 4, 11 through 15, and 16 through 20. Well, we have 11 here, and that goes here. 6 goes here. 8 goes here. 12 goes here. 14 goes here. 9 goes here. 16 goes here. 7 will go here. 8 will go here. 15 will go here. 6 will go here. 10 will go here. 14 will go here. And 12 will go here. Well, as you can see, we have 0 here. We have 7 here. We have 6 here. And we have 1 here. And the question is asking us which category will have the most. That is 6 through 10. Now, I want you to notice what I did on this question here. As I took a look at which ones were I was looking at, I'd mark them off. And then I would put the tallies over here. And then later on, if I were drawing a true frequency table, the frequency would actually go over here where these are the tallies. So just remember your tallies. And you can draw your own if you want to. A lot of these questions, you're going to have to teach yourself just to draw yourself a picture. And sometimes that's the best thing. I'm 35 years old, and I still have to draw pictures for some of my questions sometimes. There's no shame in that at all. Let's move on to number 5. And again, if my number's a little off, you'll have to forgive me. You might have to look around a little bit, but I believe this is number 5. Lauren surveyed 20 students at her school to find out which state, other than Georgia, is their favorite state to visit. She used state abbreviations and recorded her results below. So you got a bunch of different results here. Which grouped or ungrouped frequency table accurately displays the data Lauren collected? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and just take a look. In this example, we've got Virginia, South Carolina, Florida, and California. And I believe that's all we had. Well, how many Virginias do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and double check our work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, see, I made a mistake. See, there's the 5th one. So go back and double check yourself. And we'll go back and double check ourselves again in a second. South Carolina, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Florida, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. California, 1. Looks like we just have 1. Okay. Well, let's take a look at our frequency tables here. Which data represents this? Let's take a look at the first one. California, 1. Okay. Florida with 8. It looks like with Florida we had 9. So it looks like we might be able to eliminate this one. Well, let's go back and check, make sure we made our calculations correctly. Florida was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'd have to find one with Florida. I'm sorry, Florida had 8. Sorry, not 9. So it looks like maybe A might still be a choice. South Carolina, how many we have? We have 6. I've got 6 here. Virginia, we've got 5 and 5 here. Okay, with a frequency right here. And let's just take a look at these other numbers. These do not match what we have here. Now, in the example here, again, you just have to be careful and make sure you're counting right. Or you mess up kind of like I did just a second ago. Now, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Sometimes you're going to have to do these 2 or 3 times. Look at them, take your time. On your test that I'm going to give you, you're going to have plenty of time to do these. And on the CRCT, you're going to have plenty of time. There's no sense in rushing. This is not a speed contest. You have to take your time and do these like I just did. Again, how many times have I said it in class? I'm 35 years old. I just made the same errors that some of y'all make. That's okay. You just got to go back and make sure you fix them. Moral of the story is you have to take your time. Next, the director of a school cafeteria wants to add a new salad to her menu. She is unsure of which kind of salad students would be most likely to buy. Which question is most likely to give the most helpful results? So the director of a school cafeteria, just pretend like we're talking about the director of the school cafeteria at Creekland. And she's unsure of what kind of salad students would most likely buy. She wants to put the type of salad out there that would sell the most, in other words. And she wants to do a survey and ask questions to get an idea of what type of salad they like the best. Do you ever eat salad? Well, that doesn't tell us anything. Those questions, those answers to those questions isn't going to give us any idea of what kind of salad. You may eat salad all day long, but you would never eat just a regular garden side salad. So this is not a good choice. Do you prefer cooked vegetables or raw vegetables? Again, A had at least a little something to do with salad. B has absolutely nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. C, for lunch, are you more likely to order a small salad or a large salad? This might be a reasonable choice, so let's not eliminate that just yet. And finally, D, which of these 3 salads would you be most likely to buy? Garden, Caesar, or grilled? Well, I think we have a choice here because this gives us an idea of what kind of salad the kids like. So we can eliminate C and go with choice D. Below are the test scores for all of the students in Miss Rupert's French class, and you've got a bunch of them here. Which grouped frequency table accurately displays these data? Well, let's take a look at our frequency tables, and it looks like they all have the same score ranges: 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, 90 to 99. Okay, well, let's go ahead. We've got tallies over here. Let's go ahead and mark our own and see which one fits the data best. And you can draw yourselves a line right here and kind of get your own data to make sure you're right. Okay. 76. Put a 1 here. 80. Put a 1 here. 88. 80. 92. 96. 68. 78. 96. 98. 74. 82. 90. 76. 92. 78. 90. 88. 80. And 68. giving us 2, 5, 6, and 7. Well, of all this data in order, looks like our answer is going to be choice C, 2, 5, 6, and 7. More to come.